Hello, Mark of Death Metal Guitars here. Doing this long promised video on the Xiphos that I acquired way back. The last video I did on these kind of things was the one on my Warlock, talked through the modifications I did on that. So same thing here, just going to run through the basic spec and then all the different mods I did to it. I think it's a 5-piece maple walnut neck through with mahogany wings, and I'll start with what to me is its most handsome feature, and that's the finish. If you just look, this has got a kind of chameleon or colour shift. There you go, I think that shows it a bit better. Chameleon or colour shift finish to it. And to me, my favourite colour shift finishes are ones in which the colours kind of run from one to the next as they are on the colour spectrum. So you imagine a rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and so on. For me, if they kind of jump from one end to the other, like a red to purple, is a bit much of a leap. But things like this green to blue, I think flow quite well. I know ESP have this Andromeda, which is like a blue to purple, which I think also works quite nicely. Yeah, this thing just really kind of stands out. The camera doesn't do it justice. But yeah, it's really awesome. Reverse headstock as always. First mod or set of mods I did to it was changing the hardware color. This thing stock comes with that kind of black chrome stuff you see. I think I've seen it called ruthenium or something like that elsewhere. Wasn't much of a fan. One, I wanted the stuff all black. Two, and I'll cut in photos, whoever had this last had acid for sweat, and it completely just tore through the bridge, especially here. This was all pitted up. Must have gone through the plating of the finish and just ate the metal, and the metal started rusting and corroding. Pretty nasty. So when it came to the bridge, I was lucky. It just came on eBay, saw one for sale. It's an Edge 3. It's currently locked, so it's a kind of dive only situation, because I don't really trust these things to float. Got one in black, and I was doubly lucky because this had already on it an FU tone brass block. Again, I'll cut in a photo. Again, in the black, it's blocked off. You can't really see it. I've just put sponge over here to prevent the noise, and it's rear blocked with a kind of L bar. As for the hardware here, I had these tuners I just stole off an Ibanez, another one I had. His neck is kind of dead, destroyed, so I took those out, swapped those back in, and then the nut I actually had to buy, because this one has the bolts coming through the back, so I didn't have one of those to spare, so I just bought again. I can't remember where off eBay. So it's got the correct radius and everything else. Pickups. These are obviously the EMTY blackouts. I guess now you might see them called I forget what they even called them. Alt metal, whatever alt metal blackouts now that Seymour Duncan have. Probably the same thing. These I stole off of my Jackson. Just robbed them out. Previously there were deactivators, which are nice, but I kind of prefer these, so I put them in. As I've said before, out of the actives that I have tried, probably my favourite, at least for lower tunings. And this guy's in D standard, so 10 to 52 strings, a bit lighter than I previously was playing. Slightly different to what's on the packet. I think it's still a 10, 13, 17, and a 52 here. And I think it might be a 36 and a 24 or something like that. So these aren't as tight as usual. Yeah. This is just a dud, doesn't do anything. It's just a knob on a potentiometer that doesn't do anything, because it's a bit in the way of your hand. So I don't want to be like, picking, hit that off. So it's just one master volume, which is here, and a three-way toggle. I could have put one of those like flat, how do you call it, like just plastic blockers that I have on my Warlock, but I chose not to because I didn't want to mar the aesthetics of the guitar. Didn't want it to look too rustic. I quite like the way this looked. Finally, notorious for neck dive, these things. I see lots of players say that, oh, you just hold your guitar up if it's diving. Fair enough, you know, you're better than me, because I'm not that capable. I sit it like this when I play. So if my guitar sits like this, I want it to hang like this. The original strap button you can see was here, and that caused it to kind of hang like that. Very hard to play for me if guitars hang like that. So I kind of put masking tape over the back of this, drilled a small hole and then a larger one. I managed to center it pretty nicely, at least in my opinion, and it's corrected most of the dive issues. And all that's left is that there's just a screw and a kind of pimple bit here. That's not that nice to look at. I'm half tempted to move this one further up around here maybe, but it balances well enough so that, you know, I don't want to have, you know, essentially two random holes in the guitar, so I've left it kind of as is. But front to back, that is everything, you know. It's a really nice playing guitar. Back of the neck, it's a Wizard 2, so it's pretty flat, like how I like. I quite like flat necks. I'm not really a fan of C shapes, because to me it puts pressure on your thumb. Pretty flat radius as well. I think it's 400mm, so almost 16 inches, and you can just chord pretty easily. Yeah, cool stuff.